Hello, welcome to Spitfire Mods. Today we're going to cover the ACHI IR-3. This is a full Chinese version. Everything's in Chinese. You have a upper fan control. You have a lower fan control, which is on your back of your unit. So this cools your bottom plates, this cools your top plates, and then this is your upper thermocouple PID, and then this is your lower. So this will control your upper heating unit. This will control your lower heating unit. It has a fan, it has a modified lower probe which brings the probe up under the board so that when we set this to 180 we're getting a board temperature of about 180. Our board then would be racked on like this. With some supports underneath the board, not exactly where the work area is, so that we don't get a lot of board warpage. This board's a bit warped from being run as a test board. And then we're going to take our upper probe. Now with the GPU on here, our probe would go right next to the GPU. So our upper probe is bent in a downward motion so that it touches the surface of the motherboard directly next to the base of the GPU, and that's the temperature we're looking for when we run our upper unit. And then our lower unit has the probe tucked up underneath, and then this unit uses a rather low upper head unit distance. So with our setup in place, make sure our lower probe's good. With everything in place, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shut off our cooling. It also has a laser on the side there to set up your head unit for positioning and stuff. And then it's going to have again your upper temperature and your bottom temperature. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn on your bottom temperature, which is going to run the panel on the right. Now once your this panel has already been set to a temperature of 180. So when we hit 180, it has an AH and an AL. That's your upper and lower bounce temperature. So you're going to go to your AH, and then you're going to drop to your AL, and then go back to your AH. It's going to basically walk back and forth in between. That's going to turn the plates on and off. So AH is set to 180, AL will be set to 178, 179, something right below it. And that's going to allow our plates to maintain a certain difference in temperature. We're not going to go ahead and run this time. This is just for an example. But that's basically your setup. There's a different video on how to probe the PS3. On that video you'll want to watch, because that'll show you how to slide the probe in. You're going to come across the CPU, and then underneath your heat spreader, in between the heat spreader and the GPU, you're going to slide your probe in there. You're going to secure it here and over here, and then hook that to your digital meter to monitor the component. And then this will be your upper temperature. You're going to put that right next to the GPU. You're going to turn on your lower heater, which is your switch on the right. You're going to bring your board temperature up to 180, and then you're going to have your upper heater set to a specific temperature, which in this case would be 195. Now this unit runs a little hot, so when this upper probe is hitting 195, your component has already gotten pretty much to the melting point. So again, 195 with 193 or so on your AL and your AH and AL, about a couple degrees apart. And then so once your bottom temperature gets to 180, you're going to give it a little bit of time for this upper unit to plateau out. It's going to be about 110, and then you're going to turn your upper unit on at that point, and then that's going to heat from the top and bring your chip to the melting point. And then depending whether you want to remove the chip or just reflow it, you would run whatever your temperature was that was accomplishing that for you. But that's basically the setup. It plugs in the back. It has a master power on-off here on the side, and it's a very basic unit. It's manually run. It does a self-test when you turn it on, and it's a pretty reliable and nice little unit to use for a variety of different applications. The first time we ran it, it actually easily removed the chip with no pad loss, so we got a perfect pull on the first shot, and seems to work really well. So anyway, that's the ACHI IR-3. This unit is actually in new condition. It still was burning off the original oils on the wiring and stuff when we first turned it on. So basically that's an unused unit. which we happen to have on the shelf for a few years, so that unit is good to go. That pretty much covers our subject. When we were profiling it, we basically had to adjust our upper height to bring our temperature to the right temperature on our component. So we actually used this in addition to the height to get the right temperature on it. Other than that, the profile information you would get from us would cover all the other information you need to know. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's our ACHI IR-3 setup and use video.